finals. So we now know the winner of this series plays against Hero, while the loser of the series will play against Innovation in the grand final and obviously the third place match respectively. Obviously that goes with somewhat without saying. Let's see what happens here. Best of 5 PVZ. And so much on the line. I mean, straight up a win in this series will guarantee you $12,000, whereas a loss can then mean a third place match where if you lose you get absolutely nothing at all. So it really can make quite the difference here as we set up, we get ready to go. We look to see what will happen over the next few moments, over the next minutes of this series. I'm excited to see what happens in these games. I mean, Neeb Rogue is, can you call it a rivalry? Maybe not, but there's definitely history there, because there's definitely a little bit of history, because it is one of those matches which had a lot of influence at BlizzCon. Neeb versus Rogue on... Someone remind me of the map. Neeb and Rogue played like an hour. Was it Mech Depot? I think it was Mech Depot. Neeb, Rogue, and Mech Depot in the first series they played was just absolutely incredible. What a game. That like 50-minute game in the round of 16 at BlizzCon. There's definitely some history between these players, of course. So well, it's always fun to see, and obviously it's not a matchup we get to see all the time. So I'm excited to see, and Neeb's looking good. Looked pretty okay against Innovation. Looked fun against Scarlet. He played a couple of fun builds. He held up some aggression. He looked a bit better in one of the Mal macro focus games. I'm intrigued to see what how this comes around, how this will turn out over the next few minutes. So, getting this set to go. I'm going to see what's going to happen. Ay. So, looking to see what will go down here. Sorry, just timing out some people in chat. God damn it, guys. You don't make my life easy, do you? You don't make my life easy. You see the link speed coming up about halfway done, and Adept just kind of boosting out at the moment. A few more lings on the way. And yeah, I just sort of sat back and waiting to see what happens. Just a good chance for us to take a moment or two to catch a breather. Wait for the series to kick off. I mean, I like it when the series kicks off. It's actually fun that the first game's on Backwater, by the way. I mean, talk about large maps and potential for longer games. It really is that map where you can see some very long games on, because I mean, just look at it. You can take 3 bases so easily. The 4th base is so easy to hold on to. The 5th base as well. There's so much you can do here. You have so much freedom on this one. As we are going to be seeing those lings coming in, and they are going to try and grab a little bit of a surround to get rid of those Adepts. And that is actually a very good surround here. Rogue going to clean up those Adepts without much issue at all. So Neeb not able to do too much just yet. As we are just going to be seeing the Queen again, just injecting away, another Queen about to pop out, and everything so far as we kind of expect it to be. As we are going to be seeing the Nexus dropping down the 3rd base. There's a robot facility from Neeb as well. And so far we're just setting up here on Backwater into, again, a bit of a game. It's a bit of a, one of those sort of sit back and relax games. No Stargate though, so no Stargate to begin with, and no double Stargate coming through either, with the choice of the Robo coming into play. Definitely couldn't afford a double Stargate after a Robo facility. So Robo facility coming up is about halfway done. And that allows you to go into an Immortal or so. You see there's a couple of gates on the way up now as well, 3 of them in the main base actually. But yeah, you can, it's a little bit different in that sense. Maybe we see a War Prism and some Harassment in that form. We don't see a Twilight Council, so it's not going to be an Archon drop, but you could definitely see like a few Adepts or a few Zealots just popping around on a Prism, trying to get some kills here and there over time. Trying to boost on the Immortal right now. We have a Ling on the bottom and the top side of the map. And we've seen a Sentry currently being produced as well. Twilight Council will pop on from Neeb, so it will start coming in now. It's actually just a very fast first Immortal, so it looks as though Neeb's just going to straight up get aggressive here in the first few minutes. As an Immortal pops out, he can definitely set up into this sort of position where he's going to be able to make the Prism, push across and see what he can do with a couple of sentries already building Force Field Energy. But look at that scout from Rogue continuing to poke at the front, and then he sees the Immortal popping out. That's amazing information as to what's going on right here. I wonder if Neeb really does come in across the map. I mean, he's got a few warp-ins now. He's got that Twilight coming up, so obviously he's not fully all in with this or something. There's definitely sort of push forwards which you can look to do something with. Going to scout ahead of a hallucination. I like the idea of at least moving forwards, because this is going to force unit production from Rogue, because he can't just go, not building anything. Because what if Neeb actually commits to the attack? Does he really call that bluff? Well, that's what the hallucination is for. If he doesn't see any units at all, Neeb's just going to be like, okay, well, I actually am going to attack you. Link counter here, but the 4 gateways means there's plenty of warp-ins available, and he warps in some adepts to turn those away for now. Prism on its way out. And those units in the center are pretty safe. The Zealots to fight the Lings, sentries to force field if needed. There's obviously a recall available to minimize some damage. As we are going to be seeing the army just continue to move around. These Lings have been trying to find an opening in the defense, but there hasn't been one yet. So those Lings are kind of just looking a little bit lost, honestly. Like, what have they been able to do so far? Not really anything. They've just been kind of running around a little bit silly, just kind of a little bit lost at the moment. And they are finally going to head back up towards the upper left-hand side as Templar Archives. Going to be finishing in a moment or two. Some extra pylons finishing up as well. And just going to be seeing that Spire dropping down in the back of the Natural. So Spire dropping down the back of the Natural shows us that Rogue wants to play maybe a bit of an interesting game himself. Not every day you see someone throwing down a Spire this quickly. We saw Scarlet try to do it earlier, didn't quite get to the point where she was alive enough to make enough meters to work out. We saw Rogue doing it against Hero, but that was when Hero was playing Mass Carrier, so it wasn't in the same sort of situation. In this scenario, he's looking to go and build up Mutalisks right away, and trying to use those meters throughout the game to try and slow Neeb down, pick him apart a little bit, and to make his life difficult. Also, push this Warp Prism away will be one amazing thing that you can get done with that, as the Archons do have to lift up there, though. Don't get a Queen kill. Roach is coming into position nice and quickly. The power of that fast claw reconstitution, the Roach speed here, coming through, allowing the Roaches to show up and pop, 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 get onto those Archons and start dealing some damage. +1 weapons on the Forge here, as you're going to be seeing the couple of Archons lifting back up, and we do see the Crypt Chimera again taken down there to the side. Again, some Zealots and Mortals, a couple Sentries and a Stalker. All of this from Neeb just gathering together right now, this Nexus coming up to being about halfway done, as the Archon's in the main, going to try and grab that Queen, and he does get it. So the Queen goes down, and the Warp Prism coming back through the top side to, well, just kind of back away. Actually going to recall it back home, so going to bring it all the way back home. Storm's on the way up, by the way, and we actually haven't really, it's kind of crazy. We've seen a lot of Pros games today, and yet I feel as though we haven't really seen a Storm. Am I wrong? I feel like we haven't really seen Storm at all in any of the games. It's been very gateway heavy in the PvT. The PvZs haven't really been getting to the stage of the game where Storm has been required. And it's been a kind of an interesting one, as you see the Prism here juggling a few units. We'll see some Roaches coming forwards, but Roaches on their own, what are they really going to do against, well, now soon to be Storm, Archons and Immortals? It's going to be difficult. There's a few more High Templar warping in. They should just become an Archon. Extra damage right here, right now, as the Warp Prism is going to be found by the Mutalisks. Will go down. It's a good pre-warning here for Neeb, who will now be able to set up a little bit more defense. Starts up a shield battery. He's got another Archon or two in play. Little things like this, as the Muta's initially just going to go for one of these pylons on the edges of the base. Just easy damage to find at the moment. You can see a couple of Stalkers starting to warp in. The shield battery is going to be one of the key features here. Neeb will have to add on some more pylons. He is starting to lose a few of these over here. I like this, just poking forward with those couple of Stalkers. It's not a lot of damage, but he can pull back in towards the cannons. As you can see, the Mutas diving down to the low ground now. Shield batteries will try and save this cannon, and for now it will do the job. Stalkers from the main base are going to do that job as well and kind of push the Mutas away. Obviously, the shield battery finally runs out of energy, but it did its job. It kept that cannon alive long enough that they didn't actually target down any probes here. As Neeb is actually building 3 probes at a time. He's already on 80 probes. Like, he's now on 87. He doesn't need more workers, but I guess in theory, if you're expecting to lose 15 or 20 or so to Mutalisks, already rebuilding a few kind of makes sense, because then when you get killed off, you're actually not too upset about it. On 85 probes right now, that's literally fully saturated for base economy. You can see here and there he is oversaturated on mineral patches. That will only get worse as the main base will continue to mine out. The Natural will lose some patches as well in the near future. Again, Mutas coming in, trying to find something here. Rogue moving around, getting another couple of probes. Coming back towards the front of the Natural, and well, that's the first Storm being used. Doesn't really do too much, and the second Storm was very delayed there. I wonder if that was a cast before he kind of, a cast that didn't actually go off for some reason initially, because the High Templar was so far away or so, and it was taking a while to come back in position. Either way, it definitely wasn't the way it was meant to go. As you're going to see a couple of warping in Stalkers. They don't last 2 seconds here. And again, just the lack of blink makes the warped-in Stalkers a little bit useless for the moment, but obviously it's on its way. And that blink will change a lot once it comes up. It'll make chasing these Mutalisks around so much easier. Another probe goes down. We are going to be seeing those Archons continue to gather together. 5th base south side. In a little bit of trouble. So many Banelings here all of a sudden. They're going to run into this army. Oh my god, Neeb, no! Oh my god, Neeb's going to lose so much as the Storms are even coming down because he's just in such a kind of moment of desperation. Somehow he turns that army away and he pushes the Mutas back with the Stalkers, but he was not ready for that attack at all. And Neeb took some heavy losses there. And it's funny because I really feel like Neeb was doing a great job on the kind of dealing with the Mutas. I feel like he was doing fine. If he takes a better fight, he might just put himself into... I think if he takes a better fight, I mean, obviously this kind of goes without saying, he'd be in a better position, right? But I think if he wins that fight, he can actually push across the map and maybe get something done towards mid in the game. As it stands, obviously losing like that, well, now he has to kind of maybe even just sit on the defensive a little bit longer as Rogue's going to get ready to go once more. A lot of High Templar, a lot of Storms available. Stalkers are still chasing the Mutas around us. Here he goes, Storms at the front. Very well placed with the Archon and the Immortal to tank the few Banes that do make it through the Storms. That worked wonderfully. Very few losses. And Neeb, I love the way he's using the map, the ability to blink up over here, you know, and then blink back down over here if needed. Obviously, Rogue is using that to his advantage as well, being able to jump between base with the Mutas, but Neeb's responding very well, I feel, with that group of Stalkers. It looks as though he's going to give up this bottom side base. He's currently just busy dealing with this main army, which is going very well for him, I have to say. A few Banes just kind of rolling in on their own over here, even if they get this kind of Immortal and High Templar. They don't get either just yet. I don't think that would have been too amazing. Again, he got the south base. Stalkers blink forwards. Storm's still available. We'll drop one of them right away there. The Banes take so much damage as they sit in that for just a moment or two. And we are just going to be seeing those Mutas trying to come back in towards the army, but not quite making it. Blinking forwards. The one of the Mutalisks does fall. And we still see a few Stalkers just sat to the side, ready to catch those Mutas if they try and go through in towards the main base yet again. Again, pushing forwards, the Stalkers do get a couple more shots off, and we do see those Mutas getting a little bit lower. More Banelings will morph in once again here, and here we go. High Templar will have to storm. Oh, the first couple of storms were okay. One Baneling gets through, hits the High Templar. Can't let that happen too much more. If he does, those High Templar are going to be toasted, and then no more storms, and that's painful. A lot of these Banes survived on low health, so they still get to explode, which obviously means they still get to do their damage. Stalkers warping on the south side. More Banes from the north. They try for the mineral line. In the end, they're going to go off on the army. They don't get any of the probes at all. Good defense from Neeb. Rogue has just lost so many army units. Suddenly Rogue is down in supply. Neeb is going to push across the map ahead in supply, and has he done it? Wow, I mean, what a turnaround that would be after taking such a terrible fight to start with. I mean, some of those storms were good, but I still felt as though there was a lot of, Banes that were kind of sneaking through and just getting a little bit of damage done here and there. As these Lings run onto this Nexus, I mean, that pylon goes down. This Nexus will fall as well. A couple of probes will take some more damage, and they will start to go down as we do see those Lings getting picked off. So Lings taken down here. Again, the Nexus does survive. So this time Neeb will have a 5th base finished, and he will continue to mine from it. And this was really, I mean, from Neeb, I mean, again, a great little turnaround, because he definitely wasn't looking great, and that's not great. Little run-bys like that can just do, even a few Lings can cause so much trouble with adrenal glands. They kill things so quickly. So that is a little bit of an annoyance, although that said, the Zalt Wolfing will be enough. Somehow that Zalt repositioned at the front to stop more Lings from getting in. Lings on the south side will not get through. The Storm here will deal with a lot of Lings as they actually took their way through the Zealots to be able to get into here and to do a little bit more. So, pretty much all the Lings dealt with now. The run-by is over for the moment. A few Lings on the south side still, but not really in an immediately dangerous position. We see Rogue going in towards Ultralisks. I just can't really feel that the Ultras right now are going to be what they need. I just don't feel like they're going to be what they need to be, right? Like, what on earth are these Ultras going to do? Surrounding one of these Archons is going to get a kill, maybe even a second one as well as the still morphs in. Adrenal Glands is such a powerful upgrade. If you can just see it right there. You really can. You're all going to be seeing that probe getting taken down. You're all going to finally see that Ling dealt with as well. Rogue is doing whatever he can to keep Neeb busy. Stop Neeb from coming across the map and stop Neeb from being able to kind of, basically just end this game, I guess. I mean, he's doing a very good job of it, and he's building up a lot of Ultras in the meantime. I just wonder if the Ultras are going to be enough to really shut down this Protoss army when it does attack. I can't say there's a ton of Immortals, there's only 4, But I mean, the Stalkers have Blink to kite with. The Archons are pretty good against Ultras as well. It just doesn't really feel for me that this army of Rogue can beat this army of Neeb, which just looks so good at the moment. Blinking forwards to try and deal with some of those Lings again already, although Blink now on cooldown. Well, he storms up to the top side. A couple of storms on the south to deal with the Zerglings here. Here come the Banelings, which is definitely worthy of a couple of storms as well. He'll start storming on the south side once again for that. So he has to start pulling away, deal with these Ultras, but honestly, the Immortals left alive and nothing to protect the Ultras anymore. The Immortals will just turn and fight. They're going to do so much damage. Meanwhile, an absolutely insane amount of Zealots, don't even know how to describe it without being vulgar, is just going to come running on in over here. And Ultra just show up and we'll start to deal with this as the Ling's coming in too. But he already lost this 5th base, and if he loses the 6th base as well, suddenly Rogue, he's reset in terms of economy. And being reset in economy right now would not be too pretty, as we're going to be seeing those Lings getting the surrounds. Zealots going down. And we are going to be seeing the Stalkers coming up to the top, looking to try and hunt down whatever else they can. A few more Mortals coming back in towards the center. 20 more Zerglings of Rogue on the way out. And, well, again, really at this stage, Neeb is just going to be, well, looking good, looking pretty. He did what he had to do. He dealt with that army. He got rid of the support of the Ultras, and the Ultras just disappeared at that stage. Lings with Adrenal Glands. I mean, they're going to get the Nexus, in fairness. Can't kind of look beyond that. I mean, they do put this back to 4 bases apiece. It just kind of feels though this is still very expensive for Rogue. He just lost a whole bunch more Zerglings, and now they're not going to be in the army, as Neeb will once again be looking to push. And this time he can push in towards these bases as well, right? So Neeb definitely wants to keep that base alive, but still it's costing Rogue so much to keep on denying it. And Neeb already has a bit of money in the bank, so he's still got a little bit of something to play with while being maxed out, so he can attack and remax as he goes. Rogue doesn't really have that luxury. He's trying to spend whatever he can to just max out in the first place. 78 to 126 army supply. Changes slightly as he adds on a few more units in the production just there, but it's still a 30 to 40 difference, and that's massive at this stage of the game. You can see the extra investment into batteries and cannons now, really realizing that these Ling Rumbies are a bit of an issue that he needs a bit more of a sturdy defense for. Unfortunately, they're not quite up in time. I don't think any of those are pylons, so none of this is going to be powered. And that is obviously not good at all. But Neeb is spread out on the top side. And here we go, the big fight from Rogue. Doesn't matter how much ego damage you do on the other side right now, you still have to at some point win against this army. And that's what I'm just not sure Rogue is able to pull off here. You can see the Banes are actually doing well because the High Templar don't know where to storm. They're kind of in this weird high ground position while some of the units are all the way to the left and some of the units are all the way up to the north. He just couldn't quite get the storms off there initially. Now he doesn't even really need the storms. Nice blinding cloud on the right-hand side makes it difficult to deal with the Ultralisks. Storms on the Queens, I guess why not? Got to use those High Templar energy on something, and they don't have any energy left to feed back. There's just so much left over from Neeb still as he continues to push on in. Another storm comes down. Just trying to use the High Templar energy on wherever he can, but, well, you can see that Rogue knows that it's over. GG, and Neeb will take game number 1 of this semi-finals in 18. Beautiful Monday evening as we have to the bottom right hand side our blue Zerg player. This is Rogue from Jeanette Greenwings. Down a game in the series. Feels like it happened so much to Rogue, the down in a series, but then, you know, he fights back. He's done that against Templars a few times, hasn't he? You know, IEM against Maru down 0-2. Okay, 3-2. Easy peasy, thank you. Yeah, Rogue's a bit of a cheeky one when it comes to that. Top left-hand side, our red Protoss player. This is Neeb. What's up, Rifkin? How, if no spoilers are allowed, how do you talk about the back of your new car? You don't. It's the rules, man. It's the rules. Even though it's, you know, even though you don't have a new car. So it's actually a fake spoiler, which is still banned from chat. So I'm pretty sure you're about to be timed out. So sorry, thanks for dropping by, but bye. Because this is, you know, this is super strict chat where you're not allowed to say anything, otherwise the mods will ban you, you know. Aye. I too wonder why I don't let people. I'm not going to go into this. I've already done this once today. Aye. Oh well, we do see a Nexus dropping down here. Cybercore is on its way up. And just a couple of overlords moving around the map. Does your bit badge mean nothing? Your bit badge is a sign of... It's like anti-bully classes. I don't know. It's like your AA badge, only it's for bullying. And it kind of doesn't work because it's like the more you bully, the better your badge gets, rather than the less you drink, the better of a token you get. So I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's like a bully badge. Aye. You know what's really actually? So this is really funny. In Switzerland the other day at the train station, and this old guy comes up to me and he starts talking to me in German, and he was saying something like, my German's okay, but I couldn't really understand what he was saying well enough to give him a response. He was asking something about like, you know, he was asking something like, hey, you know, how do I get this train, or where do I go to get this train? Like, why isn't it on this platform? I just didn't really know the answer anyway, so I was like, oh, sorry, you know, sorry, I don't speak good enough English to understand. And he was like, okay, and then someone else, I eventually told him in German, and he was like, I have to go, like, in German, he's like, I have to go, like, under the bridge over there, and she's like, yeah, of course, you know, that's the platform for the train. And he just turns around and walks off and goes, ay, ay, ay. And I was just like, wow, it's not just a Roddy thing and a me thing. It was so perfect that I think back to it. I don't know how I didn't laugh in the moment, but it was really quite something. The old man, ay, ay, ay. Classic. Anyways, guys, we're just kind of following these couple of lings around here early as Neeb. He's taking a little bit of damage here and there from the lings. I mean, the most important thing is they get to scout fully what's going on. They did grab another probe. Again, it's just a bit of a nuisance at the moment. As we do see the Stargate is underway with an Oracle. Already the Phoenix hunting down its first Overlord, and there is a second Overlord for it to kill off to the left-hand side. And we do have a few seconds poking at the front, working their way through that gateway. Another gateway here as well could be in some trouble. I think that gateway is actually just built to kind of block off the wall. I don't think Neeb will let that finish, because how is he going to get his adepts out? He won't. Actually goes up to 3 gates here, and there is that cancel, and jumping in towards the gap. Continue to warp in adepts. There's going to be some kind of adept oracle combo, as Rogue will actually prioritize the +1 melee here to begin with. So getting set up in towards the +1 melee attack. And we've seen another queen or two coming on out here. The third hatchery from Rogue set up off over to the left-hand side. And we are going to be seeing a few more Zerglings coming down through the south. Phoenix getting another Overlord kill. Second of the game, despite the fact that this Overlord here really should have died first. But, well, it was sneaky enough on the left-hand side to stay alive for the moment. And as Neeb continue to expand, so you're going to see a second Oracle even to kind of help him take this expansion. As a few adepts will start to poke across the map, and what does Rogue have at the moment? If we look at the unit tab, 15 Zerglings against 7 adepts, 8 adepts even. Well, very much so it comes down to the positioning. I mean, if you pull queens in and you kind of get them in an open area, I don't think these adepts are too much of an issue, and we'll see if Neeb even commits in. They don't have glaive, so obviously Neeb, even if he sees that there's just these lings, he doesn't know there's not more lings just waiting up the ramp, because he doesn't have that much vision with, adepts on shade. So he doesn't really have what he needs to kind of make that commitment. Now that Rogue's seen those adepts once, he's going to make a few more Zerglings. The Oracles will come over, and they will help a lot in these sort of fights, because they're actually very good at pushing away the Zerglings. He's going to commit over here, so the Oracles will come in and have some good extra damage. And now these adepts actually are going to start getting something done, so some damage being dealt here. We're going to be seeing those Zerglings continue to go down. Depth shading forwards, a couple of Oracles and a Phoenix coming up to the top side, and we are going to be seeing those drones continuing to disappear. That's some good damage dealt, I have to say. 9 workers dead. Yes, he lost his adepts, but they feel very replaceable when he sits 10 workers up and with a decent gateway count. 3 gates already. I guess it's not an amazing number of gateways, but he also has the double Oracle. I guess now out of energy. I was going to say that's great for kind of defending. Maybe he's in a little bit of trouble. We'll see what Rogue can do on the counter. It feels like he needs to do something. He does have +1 melee. That will help. A few sentries might do something too, but they're actually quite out in the open. Oh, he gets himself pulled back a little bit. There's the first force field. Turn around, get some probes transferring between bases. Neeb's adept was off-hold position there for a moment, but he fixes it. Rogue doesn't go for the dive in. He's going to give a bit of respect to Neeb here. Backing away instead out towards the center. And now Neeb's Carapace starting up on this natural hatchery. charges on the way through as well. So that's coming in on the Twilight Council. Templar Archives is now starting up as well. A few more probes just on the way out. That lair about to finish from Rogue. Now a Hydra Den can also drop on down here in the main base. So Hydra Den dropping into play. And we are going to be having, again, those Zerglings just running back down the right-hand side of the map. They've been keeping pretty active, though, in general, just kind of keeping an eye on what is going on here and there. Just trying to see if there is a moment for them to run by. This Phoenix has still not gone back to the top side of the map yet. Eventually, we'll find this Overlord, but boy, it's taking just a little while. It's taking just a little while for a moment as we're going to be seeing the Hydra's Den about to finish up. And we're just going in towards that Lingbane Hydra setup that we expect. Groove Spines, not Musgo Augments initially. And as we are going to be seeing the two Oracles just jumping into the main, and well, just going to be getting 1, 2, and not quite a third drone because they built a Spore Crawler. So actually we'll get the Spore Crawler, which is even better because in the end, he gets the drone kill and he gets the money invested into the Spore, which is like 75 minerals. I mean, it's a bonus 75 minerals for kind of sitting there for another couple of seconds. I think it's worthwhile. Obviously, if you get the kill, it's always worthwhile. Storm on the way up from Neeb, as we do see +1 attack about to finish. I mean, Neeb's getting into that sort of position that went so well for him in the last game. But obviously, Rogue's playing a different style. This time he plays Lingbane Hydra rather than the... I guess last game he was playing a bit more Roach heavy initially, and then he played like heavy Ling run bys until the Ultras were ready to go. This game is going to be Lingbane Hydra, and he's not really looking to tech up beyond that for the moment. No Infestation Pit, that's annoying, losing these two High Templar. As they were kind of gaining energy for Storms, he'll also still lose the Archon as well, so that's a really painful moment for Neeb. Heavy losses. And it's just a few Lings, again, being on the map, they find themselves that opportunity, and that opportunity goes a long way. Hydra's over here, get rid of whatever. Was that the Prism? No, it's the Phoenix, right? Okay, Phoenix goes down. It's not the end of the world at this stage, you don't really need it. I mean, sometimes you bring it into a fight and it lifts up like a couple of, like one unit for like a few moments. It's just not a Zerg unit that's important enough to lift with a Phoenix that, you know, really changes the outcome of things. So, probably better to have that 2 supply spent elsewhere, even another Zealot or something. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it probably does do more. You see 13 more Banes on the way out, 32 more Zerglings, and +2 melee, about 75% of the way done. We do just have the units in the center from Neeb gathering together again, and Banes and Hydras gathering up from Rogue, some Lings coming in. It's interesting he's playing this Lingbane Hydra style, yet just isn't being aggressive at all with it. I mean, I get he doesn't have Musco Augments, but I mean, this is what I've wondered about Lingbane Hydra a little bit the last few days. How well can it work when you can't be aggressive for so long because of the double upgrades you need for it? Whereas in the past it was so aggressive, you know, so successful because you could be aggressive early, and being aggressive early really stopped the Protoss player from massing up the Archons and Immortals, etc. Things on the left-hand side aren't going to win this fight either, and these Zealots will probably get away with very minimal losses. I was going to say maybe 1 or 2 go down, but not a single one. There's a few of the Lings, at least a few of them got out alive, but that wasn't really too many. Double Stargate, a Fleet Beacon, Neeb setting up for the later stages of this, so he's looking to go in towards carriers, he's looking to play his later game now. As we're going to see Immortals and the rest of these units just working their way through the rocks, opening up an attack path. Neeb feeling confident perhaps to move on forwards. Maybe he wants to trade out a little bit while he starts building up carriers behind, or kind of hit before Hive Tech as well. That's also a way to look at this, although I feel as though the Lingbane Hydra army is terrifying to play against when you're on creep. So many Dropper-Lords with Balins inside as well, by the way, and Bane's cleaned up the Zealot run by off to the left-hand side as well already. So really nothing going Neeb's way just yet. Looks as though maybe he was just opening those rocks to, again, create, you know, movement opportunities later, but not really looking to use them right now as an observer. Will allow him to get rid of these first couple of creep teamers. Some Overseers, the first Zerg units he runs into over here. A couple of force fields. Looking good to block those Banelings off. Zealots down the left side, but they're so close to the main army that obviously Rogue just comes down here, picks those off instantly. And that wasn't even an issue. Well, carrier productions here from Neeb is coming into play, and honestly, if Rogue doesn't do something soon, he's going to be in some trouble. I mean, he's getting towards maxing out, so if he wants to do something, really, now is the time. There's nothing more to wait for. It doesn't get better for him when carriers come on the field, it only gets worse. And we've seen a couple of Bane drops are starting to set up here. You actually got a few probes already. Apologies for missing that. A little bit difficult when we don't have the workers killed notifications. These Banes moving in, and that's going to be, well, a dead probe line just straight up. +2 melee, of course, in play. And we are going to see, oh my god, the probes are blowing up everywhere. Oh my god, Neeb suddenly has 19 workers. What? I feel like he just lost all 60 of his workers at once. Suddenly to 19 probes, he just lost his main, his natural, his third, and the fourth was the only thing I think that actually stayed alive, maybe the fourth. Oh god, well, Neeb just lost all of his economy. His army supply is still good, but I wonder if he can feel like he can actually just sit back now, because I think he knows by sitting back he won't get a bank, whereas Rogue will. And if Rogue gets a bank, then obviously trading later in the game doesn't really go well for Neeb at all, because he just can't rebuild off the back of fights. So I think like going right now might be a good option. Well, I say a good option, but obviously it's going to be difficult to attack on to creep into Lingbane Hydra. Storms are good, but reinforcements are also pretty good, and they're starting to come on through. A few more Banes making their way forward. The number of Storms available is now 0, as we're going to be seeing those Banes connecting in. The Hydras are going to have to pull away. This base is given up, and Rogue knows that this is an all-in attack from Neeb. With only one base of economy behind this, all he has to do is survive, and if it means holding back, losing a base for a few more reinforcements, that's completely fine. Here we go, Lings, Banes, Hydras, Queens on the high ground, just going to start moving through. Neeb doesn't even really take the fight because he just knows it's not enough for himself. GG, Rogue finals. The loser of this series plays Innovation in the third place match. The winner of this series will play Hero in the grand finals. So that's our lineup of matches. 2 and a bit best of 5s left. The rest of this best of 5. And then the Innovation series and the Hero series are all best of 5 as well. We'll see how it goes as we jump on into the top right-hand side. Our blue Zerg player, guys, just tied this series up 1-1. This is Rogue. And did go for a Bane Bust on this map against Hero before. We'll see if that's something he just wanted to do on this map, or if it's something that he's just in general, you know, if it was just kind of a one-time thing because he was ahead in the series or so. As we do have to the bottom left-hand side, the Red Protoss player. This is Neeb. This is not a rerun, guys. If you're watching on the 7th of May, this is I'm live. The games are replays. It's a spoiler-free chat, so you guys can enjoy the games just as though you're watching the tournament live, as long as you don't click on the Wikipedia link, etc. So, yeah, we are live casting replays. Hopefully that's something we can get everyone to understand. Oh, sorry. I need to pay more attention. Double pylon coming down. Is this a forge as well? Okay, we're actually going to see a bit of a cannon rush, maybe? He loses one of the probes. He cancels a pylon. He was trying to make this work. He did this against Scarlet too, but it didn't work against Scarlet, and it didn't really look as though it's worked right now. Throws down the Nexus. Looks as though he's just going to try and see what he can do as we set up into this. Just going to be seeing this probe coming in towards the main base and see what's going on. Just going to be seeing a couple of drones continue to chase down that probe there, and we are going to be having a couple of assimilators dropping into the main. So just a couple of assimilators into the main base. Going to see the Nexus being chrono boosted, and well, again, just I guess we wait to see what the follow-up is from this. I mean, it's a bit of a weird scenario. It's almost like you go Nexus first, but obviously it's not as fast as a Nexus first, so your tech is delayed. I wonder if that opens up options to Rogue as to what he does now. Because honestly, this would be an amazing time for a Baneling Bust or something along those lines. In a game where tech is delayed, the Stargate late, you know. All of this because the Cybercore will not come in as soon as you would generally like it to. Cybercore drops down now, as we are going to be seeing link speed starting up. 4 Zerglings on the way out. And we are just going to be seeing the well, Cybercore at the front going to be coming up in the next few moments. Again, link speed just coming along here, and this is all going to be popping out in the next couple of moments. So it's going to be popping, filling the gap in this wall, and we're just going to be waiting to see what's going to be next. Stargate from Neeb as his tech choice at the moment. As we are just going to be seeing the few Zerglings going down towards the bottom left-hand side of the map. So dumb that this event wasn't advertised more when it was live. I mean, that's because it's a Chinese tournament. The Chinese tournament doesn't need English viewership to survive. I tried to put on an English broadcast for it live, but it didn't come through. We had issues. It didn't work out. in the end, it was something that just didn't come through at all. So when I saw there was the replays, I got right on it and said we'd do a replay cast, and here we are, bringing you guys the action here in the end. This took a couple of days because the replays came out when I was already in Switzerland, and I got back from Switzerland about 30 seconds. Not 30 seconds, but I got back to my house and dropped off my bags and came straight to the studio to turn the stream on, basically, to cast today. So this was quite literally the earliest I could have actually done the broadcast. So now we're going to see the couple of adepts just continue to move away to the side. I would like to give special shout out to the Gauntlet, though, who were such esports heroes that once they saw that I was going to be casting the event today, decided that they would just do it yesterday, just because. No, just because the StarCraft scene needed it. It really was quite a moment. Sometimes I really don't believe that still. I am slightly salty about that, I really am. Maybe a conversation for another time. Glaive's on the way up here from Neeb. And we are just going to be seeing Resonating Glaives just being chrono boosted out, and just a few things kind of coming along. Oracle coming over, and we'll see what's coming up here. Just going to be having the 7 roaches currently on the way out as well from Rogue. I mean, he's actually making quite a few units off of 42 drones. I mean, it's just been Lings for now, but now Roach is on the way up as well. So this could be this could be kind of interesting, as we are going to be seeing these few Lings just moving around in the center, coming back up to the top. And this Phoenix hitting on this Overlord on the top side. Resonating Glaives coming up here, of course, I mean, from Neeb, but that doesn't help too much against these roaches, as Shade doesn't go through. He needs to keep on moving back. I mean, obviously, at this point, we can definitely see that this is a committed attack from Rogue. He's pushing across the map. He's still making units. He's even bringing the Queens across as well, so let's see if Neeb can find a defense here. He will have Glaives, but his Robo just feels so late, and that means no Immortals, and that's a massive part of this, as we are going to be seeing. Well, the first Ravager's getting morphed in, so here we go. And we are going to be seeing them moving down towards the bottom left-hand side. And again, a couple of sentries available here. Canceling a couple of those shield batteries, I think, were coming up. Not a bad decision, because the corrosive bars would have just killed them, so good to get your money back. Let's see what happens. Again, another couple of corrosive bars coming in here. One pylon will go down. Another couple of Ravagers on the way up, and that just feels as though there's an impossible number of units here. And wow, okay, I mean, bit of an anticlimactic fight, because it doesn't even come in. Expensive. It's very expensive. And I can speak a bit of German. Honestly, for the most part, I didn't really hear much Swiss German. Like, my German's not amazing, but I can generally follow conversations roughly. And I kind of feel as though whenever I did hear German, I could understand it. I didn't hear it being too different, you know? That might just be because I only understand maybe like 50% of what I heard anyways. But, I could get by. Anyways. Kicking off and going into game number 4. The top left-hand side, the blue Zerg, of course, is a Rogue. Up 2-1 in this series, as we have to the bottom right, our red Protoss player, Neeb. Swiss German is pretty distinctive. Yeah, I think there's a couple of times I could hear like a different like dialect kind of going on, but for the most part, like I guess I just, if someone's actually like, if someone told me something was Swiss German, I could probably recognize it, like tell that it was different. But for the most part, I don't think I really heard Swiss German, to be honest. So, but yeah, it was very expensive. So. Yeah, okay, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't hear any Swiss German at all, because, like, as you guys are saying, it's very different, so. Yeah. I mean, again, like, I feel like when I go to Home Story Cup, for example, I have German friends and stuff, and they talk, I can generally, like, follow a conversation. I couldn't really take part in German, because it takes me too long to think of the words and to form the sentences, but I could generally, like, follow a conversation roughly that's going on in German around me. Especially if I kind of roughly know what it's about in the first place. But, yeah. The thing in Switzerland is every time I tried to use my German, they clearly just heard that I wasn't able, you know, they clearly just heard that I had such a terrible accent. They're just like, oh, hi. And they just started speaking English. I was like, no, god damn it, guys. God damn it. Let me get my dashboard up here because we just had a Twitch Prime sub coming through. Farah coming in with the Twitch Prime. How you doing? Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Do appreciate it. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime. Some love in the chat for a new Twitch Prime subscriber. Support the channel, showing us some love as Neeb going to go for the double Stargate build here. The 2 extra gates already on the way down with no overtech. Really should just be Stargates in the next few moments as we do see a couple of Lings sneak in for Rogue though. Trying to see just what they can get up to now. As you see the Stalker poking around. The probe goes down and we are going to be seeing the Stalker getting the kill. And now I think you can put the Stargates down without too much fear of really being scouted. What's up, Kruger1 coming in with the $5 donations. Says regards from Switzerland. Hope you liked it. Hope it didn't ruin you. That was awesome, man. It was actually really awesome just to go and like see the mountains and stuff. It was pretty. It was pretty. Hope it didn't ruin me. I was thinking about making my donation goal for the day like help resuscitate Wardy's wallet after going to Switzerland, but I thought instead I'd just stick with the kind of very normal you know, daily donation goal instead. Yeah, I thought it'll be okay for the moment. Anyways, guys, we are going to be seeing a few Lings poking around, a few Adepts moving forwards. And we are going to just be seeing the couple of Stargates coming down as we've been talking about here and there. So, what does this actually mean? It's kind of like the double Stargate is a thing where you're going to go double Phoenix, right? This is not like the double Stargate we saw earlier, where it was Oracles. This is like double Stargate Phoenix, and this is going to be, again, it's kind of setting up for the easy transition into air, although you don't generally go straight to air like Hero did earlier either. You generally do go into a ground army as well, and then you go in towards that carrier switch a little bit later on. So we'll see what happens as we do see the Lings moving around. The few Adepts just sat in the mix of the squares right now, just seeing what's going on and seeing what's happening. Wish Jay comes in with the 9 months resub, says, I watched the Gauntlet replay and I'll watch yours. Cats and Style matters more to me than results. Love you both. Thank you very much for the 9 months, Wish Jay. Appreciate the resub, appreciate the support, and the 1,000 bits to follow it up. Thank you so much. Get some love in the chat, guys. If you resubs, new sub, donation bits. Again, this is the second time today we had like 4 in a row, like a resub, a new sub, a donation, and bits, like in a row. That's crazy. Thank you so much, guys. Get some love in the chat, please. Whoa, you can cancel creep tumors? Yes, you can cancel creep tumors that are spreading from a previously positioned creep tumor. If it's a new creep tumor from a queen, you can't cancel it because you don't get the energy back. But you can cancel it here to kind of go back to this one to keep it alive if the Adepts are nearby. It actually doesn't have a cooldown when you cancel it either, so you can respread it again immediately if you would like to. Something good to know. It's good to know. Yeah, let's see some Wardy Hearts in the chat, guys. We haven't had Wardy Hearts all day. Let's see some love. We had a lot of love on this stream today. Let's see some love for the people showing some love as we see 2 Adepts try to shade in to kind of get a couple of drone kills, but they don't find anything. Time for the Phoenix, though. I've been killing a little bit of time here in these early stages, waiting for the Phoenix count to build up, while Rogue has been building up that Queen count to just get ready to defend them. Just like that. You can cancel them from a Queen, but you kill it. Yeah, I mean, you can cancel it from a Queen, but then is it really cancelling if you could like kill it? Is a cancel really just a kill? Oh, is the killer cancel? I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. But yeah, I mean, it's mostly seen when it's a normally expanding tumor, because then you actually get the tumor back where it was. Anyways, Adepts actually going to just shade on through. I mean, they're going to go down anyways, so it looks like they're going to try and do whatever they can. And Spire already on the way up here from Rogue. Now, we got to see his response earlier against the kind of double Oracle sort of play from Rogue. We're just going to be seeing these Phoenix coming in, a few drones already going down. One Phoenix getting picked off and continue to back away down the left-hand side here. And the Phoenix is going to come forwards, and they are going to lift up and drop down once again. A few more Zerglings out in the center. What is this like located? That was like, they're like making like a candy cane or something. This, quite something, as we're going to be seeing a few Lings off to the right-hand side. A few sentries, a couple of Zealots gathering together, Pylon and a Nexus. Forge and Twilight in the main base of Neeb as well, and we do see those Phoenix going to come on through. We're going to lift up another few of these drones, so again, just a little bit more eco damage being done so far, as we are going to be seeing that Phoenix pushed away through the top side. +2 melee, Baneling Nest, I mean the Bane speed coming in, and Rogue is just continuing playing towards that kind of Ling Bane Hydra style. Ooh, this is interesting though. 4th base in some trouble, perfect force fields from Neeb. I mean, doesn't really get much cleaner than that. 4 force fields placed perfectly to surround the army, block the Banelings yet again. I mean, this time the Banes can go towards those Zealots, maybe help to get a cancel on the 4th base. I don't really think Neeb cares. He loses 100 minerals in the 4th base for a little while, but he kills so many Banes and so many Lings. Don't think you can be upset with that at all. What a way that was to go, as we're going to be seeing 8 Corruptors on the way out, and just going to be seeing +2 melee and the centrifugal hooks coming up right now for Rogue. Alright, just going to be seeing a couple of gates just on the way here. Just going to see another pylon as well. To the left side, Psystorm on the way up on the Templar Archives, and we are just going to be seeing Chronoboost on the Twilight Forge and the Storm. Just using up that Nexus energy, keeping it low. And, yeah, getting those upgrades towards completion here. We are going to be seeing another couple of gateways coming down from Neeb as well, so another couple of gates coming up right now. Nexus on the 4th base, and again, he's just looking so comfortable at the moment. It's such an interesting one because he still has these Phoenix and they haven't really done much for a while. But again, you've got to remember what these Phoenix mean. It means that transition later in the game becomes so much more viable. Corruptors here right now are kind of an interesting choice from Rogue, because I feel as though, yes, they can push the Phoenix away, but once you push the Phoenix away, then what? They started Caustic Spray down this Nexus. Oh, they're actually going to lose a couple of Corruptors. If he gets the Nexus, you could argue it's worthwhile, but then he stops, and, well, now he's just lost 2 Corruptors for what? I mean, the Phoenix aren't really too important anymore either, right? But the Corruptors definitely could be used later in the game. They're just not super useful right now. And again, these Phoenix, it's not so much about having the Phoenix at this later stage. It's what you already have to then transition with. 2 Stargates means that now you only have to invest into a Fleet Beacon and 1 more Stargate to get ready to go in towards carriers. You know, you only have to go into when you already have +1 flyer attacks as well, so that's an upgrade you don't usually have. That transition comes just a little bit more smoothly, even though it is still ground-based. There you go, Fleet Beacon drops down from Neeb, just the 1 extra Stargate. And it's because, you know, it's used on this map, it's used on Backwater because you know that these are the sort of maps where you just don't walk across the map and just like, la-di-da, kill the Zerg, yeah, whatever. No, it doesn't work on these maps because the bases are so easy to take. And it doesn't work for the Zerg's point of view either. The Zerg just can't, you know, come walking along and be like, haha, I shall kill you now. Because they just don't have the, you know, the bases don't allow the Zerg to do that. So it's done on these maps because you know they're maps that are very kind of, you know, have the tendency to go in towards carriers. As we are going to be seeing that hallucination of the Phoenix in the center of the map as well. Some Lings and Banes down towards the bottom left. We are just going to be seeing 2 carriers starting up. So Neeb, again, in it for the long haul at the moment here. We're going to be seeing a lot of Ling Bane Hydra to the right hand side. Those Hydras without the musical augments, we're so slow! A few more Banes just warping in at the moment, as we're going to be seeing some High Templar getting ready to go as well. And getting a little bit of Ling Bane off over to the left-hand side. And we are going to be seeing, well, here we go. Zealot charging forwards, Archons. Tanking a little bit for now. There's a sentry or 2 mixed in at the front. Storm is ready, right? And just use the Storm on the back. Just didn't have the High Templar towards the front, I guess, to use the Storm there. Bane's trying to come up this ramp again. I mean, okay. You killed the Cybernetics Core. That was a massive waste of Banelings. Now the High Templar can focus towards the top side, which is where the Hydras still are, and as the Banes disappear, well, those Hydras are not going to have too much luck in themselves. 96 Zerglings on the rear max. What the hell? What on earth? 96 Zerglings coming through right now. Well, okay. I mean, it remaxes Rogue. I guess it's going to be a lot of Banes, but he's going to be really all in with this, because if he doesn't start setting up in towards an answer for carriers, he's not going to have an answer for carriers when he needs them. There's already 3 of them on the map, 3 more in production. It's already a bit scary. I mean, again, if you can make this work now, perfect. This is exactly what you need. You need this to work now. If it doesn't work now, you really are going to be in some trouble, as you're going to be seeing Archons, Immortals, and Zealots just continue to come on forwards. And, I mean, Storm coming into play. Again, just going to be seeing the Nexus going down, sure, but I do wonder how much Neeb really cares, because I feel as though he's kind of happy with his army, and he just sort of knows, like, okay, you take this base down for now, but I'm just going to re-expand, and the next time you come along, I'm going to have 6 carriers, and then you're really not going to have the army to kind of really contest that. So, you know, what then, buddy? You know, what then? Just going to be seeing the army coming around the right side, and again, more Lingbane gathering up, 11, 12 more Banelings. It's still so Lingbane Hydra heavy, and that's what's so concerning at this stage when there's so many carriers starting to come into play now. It's like a low to mid tier tech army from the Zerg against what's becoming just a higher and higher tech army from the Protoss. And again, I mean, initially these first few carriers are maybe not in good enough numbers to really go up against the Hydras on their own. But again, the carrier count's about a double, and that really will be insane. As we're going to see, the first Storm's very good. Second Storm's pretty good too. The carrier's actually going to be fighting against some Corruptors here, and that's actually a little bit of a pain. He actually is going to lose one of the carriers, although it's only a very small number of Corruptors, so it took him a long time to kill that one carrier. Eventually, we will see Rogue being the player who backs away, comes back in towards the upper left-hand side. Well, Rogue just kind of continues to set on up. Brocktail in the chat says, I disagree with what he's taking this because Rogue's on 90 drones, so it's okay to take inefficient trades. So, yeah, I mean, I can sort of get behind that. Like, I don't think it's bad that he takes inefficient trades, right? Like, you know, that's sort of fine. I think the issue is, when he's taking these inefficient trades, is he's not resetting the carrier count, right? He's not resetting the higher tech numbers. And so while the inefficient trades are sometimes okay, a lot of the time that kind of makes a lot more sense. Like, say if you're going up against like a Mortal Archon charge lot, taking inefficient trades with Lingbane Hydra can work if you have a better economy, as long as the Immortal and Archon count is kept low. Because without the higher tech units being in good enough numbers, you're never going to beat the Lingbane Hydra. But as it stands, I really just think that, you know, inefficient trades are great and all, but if you can't ever reset the carriers, that's a big issue. And again, we come into this fight now. Maybe he can get some carrier kills here. And he does have one already, but he doesn't get a second. And so again, it's a lot of units to trade away while Neeb just sits still with 3 carriers. I mean, what's actually been lost? He's lost 2 carriers so far for 21 Corruptors. I mean, it's an interesting scenario. I mean, maybe Rogue can make something happen because he has got a ton of bases. That is very true. He's got that base up top. He's got this base down in the bottom left coming up as well. And obviously, Neeb has no map presence at all to really be a part of this right now. You know, and to get rid of those bases. And so, you know, arguably, yeah, Rogue does have enough economy to maybe keep on doing this. It's just, I don't know if the economy is coming in fast enough to really shut down how well these carriers are still trading. Like, there's inefficient trades and there's super inefficient trades. It feels like right now, that was like an insane, that was like what, like a 7k for 3k? That was like twice as inefficient, which is kind of crazy. We'll see how it works out. I mean, obviously it still comes down to some of the future fights. Let's go into this one. Bane's coming in. Storms are good though. Oh, Storms are very good, and the Immortals in the front tanking as well. And now here come the Corruptors, another Storm to get on top of them. Carrier micro backwards as it gets low as well. Interceptors are gone though, which means the carriers aren't as useful, but here come the Void Rays onto those Corruptors now. One carrier falls. Sorry, no, the carrier's sticking around. I think one carrier did go down, but only one. And now the Queens and Hydras are off of creep, so they're actually very far forwards. Does need a moment or two to rebuild those Interceptors here. Neeb just sat back. I think, again, the biggest issue for Neeb may very well be a 6 base, actually, because if Rogue can just keep him off of a 6 base, maybe that's how it works. Doesn't matter how good Neeb's army gets, if eventually he can't keep sustaining it, maybe that is where it goes. On 5 bases right now, it's okay, but I guess we'll see as we see Queens, Banes, Lings, Corruptors all getting ready to go once again. And we are going to be having the another pylon coming down right here. Some Lings and Banes coming forwards. The Storms once again. I mean, they're good, right? I mean, what more do we expect from Neeb? What do we expect? I mean, we expect them to be good, and it really is just that. The Voyager of the Prismatic Alignment, that's something. And they tear their way through the Corruptors. The mass transfuse of the Queens just doesn't come in quick enough. And because the Queens are targeting Interceptors, the Voids are just left alone to do their thing. And Rogue is once again pushed back. I mean, this was just, what, 27k to 16k? So this is 39 to 25. It's inefficient, but it's a little bit better. And we've seen still Lings, Queens, Hydras in the center, gathering themselves up. Going to move around. A lot of these units coming over to the right-hand side now. Neeb's gone back into some carrier production, maybe realizing he has enough voids to keep those carriers safe from the Corruptors. Overlord gets taken down, and Just going to see those Lings running in. Picks off a Zealot, Archon, and some Zealots as well. Just going to be coming through here, and I mean, actually good enough to defend for the moment. Some Banes get some economy of Neeb. Neeb drops down about 13 workers there. Just transfers some probes back down, though. Doesn't even really feel like he needs to rebuild them, I guess, because he hasn't started any up in production. A few more Banes trying to come on over. Now it's Lings back up to the top side, but the Lings just don't do enough. And so they're pushed away. Now Neeb is in a massive army supply lead. 47 army supply advantage. I mean, at this stage, right, Rogue doesn't even have that much money in the bank. Yes, his income's pretty good, but he doesn't have the bank there, and he's actually building more drones. He's been building up the Spore Crawler wall as well. And he's still down the south side. A few more Zealots on the way up. Another Archon coming in. Another couple of carriers joining the fray. I mean, how many carriers are on right now? 6 on the map. This is where I really started to worry for Rogue. He's getting some Infestors, which will be his sort of next stage of this composition, but he's still only on 10 Corruptors. Like, he's so reliant on just so few numbers of units to actually take those carriers down. Let's see what happens. Neeb has to start doing something, though, and that is the one good thing for Rogue. Neeb has to start pushing on the map, because if he doesn't start pushing on the map, he doesn't have another base, and he really, really needs another base. Just going to be seeing pushing forwards here. What these units can do again. Rogue building up those drones, but pretty much just putting them straight into static defense at the moment. And maybe that's why he just added a few more. And he's making even more Zerglings because, well, he actually has some gas. The Corruptors out on their own. That's not pretty. 2 or 3 of them going down, maybe even 4. Well, Neeb's on the push right now, and here he goes. Spores are going to try and relocate. Neeb's right in the center. There's Creepy Lancer, sits in a fungal there for a moment. Prismatic Alignment's already popped on the Void, so they won't have this with the upcoming fight. And Neeb's trying to back away. Storm coming forwards, tagging a few of the Corruptors already. The lower he can get those already, the easier his life becomes moving forwards. Fungal growth still coming down, really going over the arm, but I wonder if it's more the interceptors he needs to try and hit with those to get rid of those quickly, and then to jump onto the carriers. Neeb just able to hold his own in this fight, because again, the numbers just aren't there. The Queens don't do enough damage. They only have +1 missile attack, these Queens, and again, it just isn't actually that much against, you know, I know the carriers don't have upgrades on armor themselves, but when the carriers are putting out +2 interceptors, those Queens are just melting, and right now we're just going to be seeing a couple of Spores. Well, they can be transfused up, and they will buy some time. Some more Banelings coming into play. Rogue spends his money on more Banes and more Lings. I think he just realized that if he tries to get Hydras out, they just kind of go down at the moment. He needs something in front, which is the Ling Bane, but he just can't kind of afford both. He has some Hydras here, 9 of them. I mean, the first row of Interceptors go down. There's a couple of carriers with none left on them, but backing away for a moment, Neeb will just rebuild those Interceptors, get ready to go again. Well, more Lings on the way out at the moment here. We do see some Lings coming through the south side. This is going to be a denial on a very important base of Neeb. Again, Neeb's going to be running out of mining if he doesn't have that 6th base up at some point soon. So, it's really starting to become a bit of a now or never moment as he pushes on in here. Remember, Neeb goes into this with a leading army supply, but he does attack into stack defense. But look at the carriers. The Archon's still alive on the ground as well, doing a lot. Obviously, the Storms were also pretty great in this. And now Neeb pushing through. And, well, what do you build at this stage as Rogue? He builds another set of Zerglings, but even Zerglings at this stage, Zealots just keep warping in, and the Zealots will just deal with it. Pushing forwards, Neeb is actually just going to find himself the GG right here and now. Neeb takes game 4 and ties us up 2-2. Sustainable. So, that said, we're going to go into game 5 of Rogue versus Neeb. We do have to the top right-hand side, Blue Zerg. It is the Korean Rogue from Jin Green Wings. Going up against the red Protoss player to the bottom left-hand side, Neeb. Again, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, obviously, do think about hitting that follow button. I'm sure I don't need to remind you guys of all the ways you can support. Van Cam gets it. Hitting us up with that Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much. We have some love in the chat, please, for Van Cam. And the Twitch Prime subscription. If you're a Twitch Prime user, all it takes is one little click on that sub button. You can subscribe for free if you haven't used up your Twitch Prime sub, so use it, use it, use it. Or use it on another channel that you enjoy. I don't care, as long as you're using it, make sure you support your streamers. Thank you very much, Van Cam. I do appreciate the sub. Welcome to the Wardy fam. Twitch Prime ads. Well, you know, even if you're a Twitch Prime user sitting through an ad break, that still supports the streamers. So, appreciate you guys sitting and listening to the music while the ads do roll. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of discussion about that last game. Rogue really just didn't build for the late game. He built to win then and there, right? Like, he built to win on Lingbane, Hydra, Corruptor, and that just doesn't really work in the numbers he was trying to... Like, it just doesn't work in the numbers he's trying to do because it was so few Corruptors, and he was trying to bust on, like, when it was only 3 carriers. And his composition was consistently, like, decent enough to deal with 3 carriers, but as soon as Neeb got past those 3 carriers, then Rogue's composition was just lacking so much to be able to then deal with what was, you know, that stronger Protoss army and that more powerful, you know, later game Protoss army. It's definitely not a composition from the Protoss that's unbeatable for Zerg, but when the Zerg tries to win at a certain timing and that timing doesn't work out and the Protoss survives, it gets to that point where the next attack and the next attack just isn't going to look as good. So it really is... It's one of those scenarios that it makes it, you know, it makes Protoss look stupid. It's like, how on earth do you beat this? But, you know, Rogue tried to hit a timing essentially, it failed. You know, and then for the rest of the game, the last, you know, few minutes, it really didn't look so close. Yeah, he had a couple of fights, but every time Neeb was coming out with a bit more of an advantage every single time, so... Anyways, I'm going to be seeing what happens here as we get the Stargate going. What Eastwatch? I mean, Eastwatch really... talking about longer games. We have seen the kind of the 2 longer game maps, Neon Violet Square and Backwater, go into longer games here between these 2 players. Interesting enough, it's the 2 maps which Neeb won so far. Eastwatch was originally a map which I really felt like was going to give us a lot of very long games and all the rest of it, but more recently it hasn't been the kind of same, you know, to the same extent as Backwater as Neon Violet, because the 4th base does become a bit more difficult to hold, and especially the 5th base beyond that, there's more pathways to try and make use of as well, and that does all come into play as we are going to be seeing these couple of adepts shading up towards the upper right hand side, try and see what they can get up to here over the next few minutes, and as we're just going to be seeing Twilight Council dropping down and getting ready to go. Just going to see the 2 adepts just going to be fighting away but fully surrounded. We're kind of on top of this from the get-go. Couple more links coming down towards the bottom left, and we are going to be seeing the Twilight coming up in the main. And we're just going to be seeing the robotics facility from Neeb coming up in the natural expansion as well. So Twilight Council, robotics facility, all of this coming through right now. And we are going to be seeing those extra gateways just going to be finishing up right here. 5 extra gates and now 3 more. Neeb is not mining gas apart from with 1 probe. Oh boy, guys. Oh boy, Neeb's going to get a little bit cheeky in game number 5. He's going to try and win this with a little bit of an all-in. I mean, what did he build out of the Stargate? Just a single Oracle? Not even the Phoenix to push back an Overlord. And I guess, well, wasn't Overlord killed? Yeah, he killed an Overlord with the Stalker, I guess. I mean, Rogue didn't see enough to kind of figure that out. So now no gas mining means the Warp Prism will come out, and this is just going to be mass charged also to try and win this here for Neeb. Rogue has no idea at the moment, although he is going into a Roach Roar, and that is a good start to being able to defend against this. It's a good start. Charge is about halfway done. Prism is coming up to completion. And again, the few extra gateways also going to be finishing in the next few moments. Some lings out over to the left-hand side, and a probe from Neeb is kind of trying to look like, hey, you know, I want to build a 3rd base. Why are you lings being so mean? Poor probe, he's got 1 job, and you know, you're just not letting him do his job. In reality, that probe has done his job perfectly. He's looked like he wants to build a 3rd, but he had no intention to. He's going to see these adepts coming across, which is a bit of a weird one. You know, because it's that sort of time. Okay, this is a tell right now. Rogue sees it. Now Rogue knows what's going on. So let's see how this is going to happen. As we're going to see the Oracle will turn and fight a Queen. 2 more Queens coming down. A Spore Crawler too. Obviously, the Spores coming forwards are worthwhile because it means they can actually Sim City, tank some damage, and just straight up, it just means that the Warp Prism is very limited as to where it can sit and kind of warp in from. Another wave of Zealots. Let's see what Rogue can do right here. A few Adepts are trying to shade around, see what they want to actually really commit into at the moment. Zealots just go up the ramp on the low ground. Roaches are fully surrounded. Warp Prism actually microing around a few of the Zealots as well. Charge coming off cooldown, that body slamming damage. Stun add up as they get to body slam in again. Queens are pushed away so the Prism can just sit back and warp in without issue. Maybe Neeb needs to pull back down this ramp, or does he have enough to just push through the ramp? Sends a few drone zealots into the drone line. That's going to be painful. A Spore Crawler trying to chase the Prism, but now the Prism's in the main base, so that Warp Prism is going to just kind of dodge the Spore Crawler here. There's no anti-air to get rid of the Prism at all. These Roach numbers are starting to drop just a little bit. More Roaches going down. More Zealots warping in. The drones are hold position to try and protect here. Another Roach from the back does come forwards. Is Neeb doing this right now? It kind of feels like he's going to start doing it, because as the Roaches disappear, the drones are the next targets, and as they drop, obviously goodbye economy, goodbye further Roach production, and goodbye pretty much every chance Rogue has in this game, in this series. His supplies dropping drastically now, and Neeb, the foreign player, the non-Korean in the top 4, might be going through to the finals, where he'll play a PvP against Hero. I think it's almost a given right now. Oh man, Neeb, Warpism will come back down. The Zealots are still chasing all over. The Adepts from earlier, and Rogue just didn't quite see this soon enough. He just didn't quite have the response that he needed. GG. Neeb is going to be taking the series 3